is Rogers TV.
Hello everybody, my name is Jason Piercey, and this is Out of the Fog. Couple of people to talk to today that I think you're going to enjoy. I'm going to speak with Mr. Sheehan, who is both a friend of mine and a comedian. Don't hold either one of those against the other one in trying to decide whether or not you should go see his show up at McNiven's Pub in Airport Heights on the 14th of December. It's called Christmas Stuff. We'll hear all about that. And I also learned a great deal from Darren Halloran about Always In Vogue. Like, they make stuff. Like, this place it's a cool spot. You're gonna see all of that today. We will be right back after this. And welcome back to Out of the Fog. Look at that phone hanging out. How disrespectful. I'm going to leave that there. And there. The reason that's there is, ladies and gentlemen, my guest right now, Mr. Sheehan.
Hey.
My phone was there because we were just talking about how well TikTok has treated you.
TikTok's been fine to me, yeah.
And
it's been
that's why it was there, because I was literally tickety-tocketing while we were talking about it.
That's good. That's a good save. That's
Yeah,
fast.
TikToking about it.
That was fast. TikToking about it.
We were also just talking about improv.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I'd have fun with improv. And you were like,
Man,
yeah, I think you would too.
I think we could read each other pretty well on stage, and that's what you need. You need people who can interact. And we used to do it in '98 in Gander, and we started off.
Sorry, 1998?
1998.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
I know. I look so much younger than to say 1998 was something, right? But
That's true. Well, I still feel like the 90s was 10 years ago.
honest to God, right? Well, people tell me 20 years ago, I think 1980.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
No, it's
But
ridiculous.
there's not that big a difference between our ages.
No, I'm 48.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, there is a bit difference.
How old are you? You're still in your 30s?
Yeah, 39.
Punk. You punk.
Yeah, 39. but
And you insulting seniors here on your show.
well, I have a handicap parking space permit now.
Oh,
so I
Jesus.
can. I
You're
can
still
get
milking
in.
that, are you? All right, fair enough.
Of course, I'm milking it.
All right, still gonna milk.
Speaking of milking
Just
stuff,
because it was an accident that devastated your life and left you a mangled bunch of bones, I don't know that you should be milking that forever. Let's face it, right?
Well, I was
time to
really-
move out. Time to get out. Get over that.
I was really just trying to use it as a transition
fair enough.
to talk about when you had your stroke.
That I've been milking.
Well, that's I'm
Trying to anyway. No, I haven't.
Well, give me a minute, and I'll help you milk it. So we want to talk about the Christmas Stuff show that you're doing at McNiven's Pub.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I've been the benefactor of the love and kindness of a whole lot of people after my accident, and it makes me even more so see a great deal of value in spreading word for other causes.
Sure, yeah.
And it's not, and I think in talking to you about it, it's not so much that we're going to have a conversation whereby we raise funds for the Heart and Stroke Foundation. I think we should have a conversation about warning signs and early stroke symptoms and signs, because
Timing is everything with it, yeah.
Had you not known that,
If I didn't know what was going on, or if I had been in a plane somewhere, going somewhere, I would have been in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
That day. That day. It was October 5th.
and I was still
yeah.
young, so I could recover, your life probably would have been over.
Well, you know, I thought about using it, and you know,
Do it.
I thought about using it and being a complete dick to some people and just using it as an excuse. Like, I haven't been the same since the stroke, but anyone who knows me knows I was a dick long before that. So
Yeah, but that just adds, that compounds.
it just
to
compounds it,
it's
right?
funny.
Yeah. Well, you know, I couldn't help it. Even in the hospital, when the doctor came in, when I was, I think I was pretty much out of the woods. My arm was back to life and stuff. But the doctor came in and he asked me if I had any trouble with my speech, and if you notice anything with your speech. I said, well, now that you mention it, I woke up and all of a sudden I'm speaking like this. I can't stop. And yeah, but that morning Tracy had just gone to work. It was 8:30. I had the 2 dogs out on the front step. I stood up to go in, and all of a sudden I felt a bit off. You know, I wasn't completely steady on my feet, which was strange. I hadn't gone for a walk. I hadn't had a workout. No, there was nothing to make the muscles feel weak.
Yeah,
you know
there's
what I
nothing.
mean?
You hadn't done something.
I hadn't done
strenuous.
anything
Yeah.
strenuous, right? Chances are I hadn't done anything strenuous in a long time. And but when I got upstairs, then my arms started to
Tracy.
go. My arms started to go, and I called out to my daughter. I knew right away what was happening because my mother had a history of it. She passed away a few years ago, and my daughter was 18 at the time, living with us. She goes to Sackville now, going to Mount Allison. But I called out to her and I said, "Sweetheart, don't panic, but I need you to call an ambulance. I'm having a stroke." And she didn't hesitate.
Yeah.
She called. She spoke to them as they were on the way. She kept her calm 100%. When they left, when they left with me in the ambulance, she had a little moment. You know?
Understandably.
But she was my hero that day. And
Yeah.
but even when they got there, you know, my arm, everything had felt good again. So I didn't know, maybe I'd pinched a nerve or something. So I thought I was going to let the ambulance go on again, and I had just signed a release form that let them go. And when I stood up again, I said, "Whoa, wait a second." And I stood up and I started to do this theater exercise. You know what I mean, when you're warming up?
Yeah.
And so I started to do this, and this arm was fine, but this arm was dragging.
So there was something.
There was
wasn't
something still wrong.
Yeah.
So I said, "No, I better go." And by the time they got me in the ambulance, my whole right side was pretty much gone. I couldn't sit myself up. That's when a good bit of fear started to come in.
Yeah.
You know, but when they got me there, they got me on the good stuff right away, and I didn't have any repercussions afterwards. There was no effects from the stroke whatsoever that we know of.
That we know of. So props to the healthcare system for being able to process that quickly, but they could only process it if the call was made, and the call could only be made if the warning signs were recognized. And the warning signs could only be recognized in your particular case because you had the experience with family members.
Exactly, yeah.
But you don't have to have the experience with family members to understand what these signs are if you just kind of, if you do the research.
Absolutely. You know what? It's an acronym FAST, right? Your face, if your face starts to droop a little bit,
Yeah.
that's a sign. Your arms, in my instance, it was my arm went weak. Speech.
Like tingly, kind of.
It almost felt like it was going asleep. You know what I mean? It was almost felt like it was asleep, but then that went away. And when I was at the hospital, there was one point where I looked at my arm, and no matter what, it couldn't move. I couldn't budge it.
Yeah.
And that was, at that point, I was starting to think, am I going to have to learn how to be left-handed at this point? You know, that's things that are going through your head that you don't know what's going to go through you.
Yeah.
And but when they got the medicine into me, it started to come back to life, and it came and went 3 more times that day before it came back and stayed. And
So fast, face,
arms, speech, and timing.
and timing. So
Yeah.
timing is in like your reaction.
Your reaction, because when my arm first started to go, if I had laid down and thought I was pinched nerve or thought or whatever, and I laid down and have a nap or something, I don't know if I'd be me now. I don't know if I'd be the same person as I was when I woke up that morning.
You might be better.
I could be better, you know?
you're not
I mean,
getting
let's
worse.
face it. Let's face it. I'm not a terribly likable person in the first place.
Likable or not, you are entertaining. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, let's talk about the show. First of all, how nice is it to have like a pub?
Man.
To have a pub up in there. How nice is that?
I tell you what, man, Airport Heights, we're not just a gazebo anymore. Remember that song?
Of course I do. I'm going through the lyrics.
Skidoos,
Trikes,
trikes and bikes.
bikes.
At the gazebo, we likes to fight.
Yeah, this is what we do up in Airport
This
Heights.
is what we do up in Airport Heights.
Yeah.
Do we have to pay royalty for that?
To who?
Exactly. It's okay, don't worry about that. But yeah, McNiven's, man, it's a great little pub. We got, it's just down the road. It's crawling distance to home, so it's nice. Yeah, it's great.
Stumbling home distance. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
So can we talk a little bit about the show? It is a
Sure.
Christmas-themed show.
It's kind of is, yeah. I mean, there's going to be some stuff that's not Christmas related, but for the most part, I started making my list. I checked it twice, and there was a lot of stuff on it about Christmas that I thought could be funny.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
You know, and yeah, I'm going to have a go at it.
So, I mean, you've been
The weird thing is, the weird thing is that
But don't say
I'm an
don't mean to
atheist.
interrupt, because you do
Well, I
mean
just
to
did it,
interrupt.
but,
It is
but you
the
don't need to correct me at the same time.
of what
though.
you did.
We could have discussed it afterwards.
Yeah,
You couldn't let it go
I was gonna
and then
mention-
interrupt.
I was going to mention the atheist thing. That's exactly
yeah.
what I was just.
Oh, you
gonna
were going
say.
there. See,
I was going there
right,
because
yeah.
because there's Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and trying to be inclusive, and then there's some people who don't necessarily believe in Christmas because it's the birth of the Christian Christ. So celebrating Christmas makes you like a hypocrite if you don't believe.
It does, but at the same time, you know what I mean? It does.
right?
I mean, I got
It
kids.
does.
I'm not going to tell my kids, oh, I don't. No,
Yeah.
20 years ago, when I was a bit more militant, maybe, but no. I love Christmas. It's family, it's fun, it's warmth, it's nice.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
doesn't necessarily have to have religious overtones.
But a lot of people would argue that it does, or else it's
yeah,
not
it does. Well,
actually
it's
Christmas.
Well, you could call it Happy Holidays. People do that too.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
but if you're,
Well, there's like 18 or something different holidays around this time of year.
If you're an outspoken atheist and you say Happy Holidays, somebody on the right is going to give you a hard time.
They always do. They always do. I get crap for it. If I say Merry Christmas, nobody says anything to me. If I say Happy Holidays, look out. I'm a snowflake. I'm a sheep. Go get my 15th booster. I watch too much mainstream media. Yeah, it's fun.
It's so funny to say mainstream media, and then Fox, 20th Century Fox, is about as mainstream as it gets.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's we've jumped the shark as far as things to get offended about. And the people who claim that everyone gets offended seem to be more offended than anybody else.
Well, they're offended at how offended everybody is.
Right?
That's it.
It gets confusing, man.
One of
It
my
gets
favorite bits,
confusing.
and you've definitely heard this, is like what happens when somebody gets offended? Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing happens.
Right.
You just go on being offended.
Right. Well,
That's it.
people say the same thing about, they talk about pronouns. I'm not calling anybody by a certain pronoun. Why not?
You call them by their name.
What difference
Your
does it make to
chosen
you?
name is John. I call
Right.
you John.
Exactly.
You could change it to Jim. I
change it to Jim. You call me Jim.
What difference does it make?
If
He,
I
she,
call someone
they,
sir
it,
or
whatever.
if I call someone sir or ma'am or Mr. or Mrs. It doesn't. If that's what they want to be called, I'll call them that. What's the big deal?
So-
it affects my life not so whatsoever.
Come the 14th of December,
Yeah.
any sir, ma'am, or Mrs. or
By all
beast or
means.
whatever you want, eventbrite.ca, look up
Yeah.
Christmas stuff, $25 a ticket. It'll be a great show.
I'm hoping it's going to be a lot of fun. There's some stuff that's been in my mind for a couple of years now, and if you're worried about people are worried about you taking shots at Christmas, that's not it. I'm not taking shots at the holiday. I'm taking shots at the things and traditions and people and shopping and malls and
Yeah.
cards, gift cards
Yeah.
and mistletoes and all that kind of stuff.
So here's one that I find interesting. People get upset about Xmas.
Yeah.
Leave the Christ in Christmas. But it's not an X. It's actually
It's
a
a Christian.
cross.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be. It stands for Christians, right? Christian Christmas.
Exactly. Anyway. John Sheehan, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
On the 14th, the 25th, $25, 14th December, Christmas stuff with John Sheehan. It's sure to offend nobody, regardless of what your pronouns are. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Out of the Fog. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Darren Halloran. Darren, thanks for coming in to say hello and for bringing these items that we can discuss. Darren, you're with Always In Vogue.
Yes, we are, yeah.
So, grew up in a small town out around the Bay. Always In Vogue just sounds like premium. It just sounds fancy. Like if somebody, like I can remember being a kid and seeing like the commercials or whatever of Always In Vogue. Because you guys have been around a long time, right?
60 years this year, yeah.
60 years, that's massive. Can we talk a little bit about, like, because that's not just history, that's legacy. Like that's like a couple of generations.
Thank you. Yeah, no.
Like that's a big deal. You're not in business for 60 years because you're doing something wrong.
Well, we try to do everything right.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit of the story.
So the company started off as Vogue Furriers.
Yes, which I remember.
Yes, in 1962 in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Betty and Louis Freeman were two brothers from away that started it, and my dad started with the company when he was 16 years old, and in 1984 he came over to Newfoundland and opened the store here. In 1997, him and my mom bought the business from Betty and Louis, and we've been involved in it ever since.
Wow. When did you go from Vogue Furriers to Always In Vogue?
We changed in the early 90s. There was a lot of controversy with the fur industry, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot of misinformation was kind of being put out there. You didn't have the internet, social media kind of things to set the truth, in my opinion. And we decided to go from just fur into other luxury brands such as cashmere coats, leather, shearling jackets, a bit of everything. We do accessories. And we just decided to rebrand to Always In Vogue so that people wouldn't think that we were just a fur store.
Yeah, and you still hold on to the brand with the Vogue part.
We do, yeah.
Right? Because I think for years people didn't just say Vogue Furriers. Did you say, well, I'm going down to Vogue, I'm going to get a coat for whoever, and now they would do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
But so the brand is still the same.
Well, it is, and we make all of our seal products in-house. So all of our fur products, whether we're remodeling your mother's old coat or your grandmother's old coat, if we're remodeling that, or we're doing, we still carry the fur side of the company, and it is one of our biggest sides of the company. But we also have more than just fur for men and for women.
Well, hold on. Say, I think I'm learning something right now. Did you just say that all of those products you manufacture?
All of our seal products, yes. Yeah, and we do remodeling. So if your mother or grandmother had an old coat that they wanted to turn into one of our updated newer styles, we could actually take that coat and turn it into a new style for you in-house.
Okay, so you're a storefront in a retail shop.
Yes.
And you sell a variety of products, men, women, either animal product, fur or not, whatever. But you also manufacture the seal products.
We do. Yeah, we want our fur products and our seal products to be in-house made. Not somebody away making them for us, sending them in. We want to do everything on our own, and that's what we do, and we've been doing it for 60 years.
See, I have to apologize, Darren, because I knew that you had people on staff that would do sewing, but in my mind that was like, because anytime you go to a proper menswear store, there's a tailor, there's
Absolutely.
people, so it's normal to have that. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize you making it though.
From start to finish.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and we actually, upstairs, we have a cleaning facility, so, if you wanted to have your fur coat cleaned, or you wanted to have a leather or cashmere coat cleaned, you come in and you do that, and that's also part of the process of making the coat. So we literally have everything on site to do a coat from start to finish.
And it's very much a local company.
It is, yeah.
Right?
We've expanded. I mean, we've had stores. We've had stores across the Atlantic provinces, and my dad ventured off a couple years ago into China, and there is a store over in China that right now is kind of on hold with COVID and that kind of thing. But he has done that as well. So yeah, we're kind of trying to be everywhere.
Wow. Well, clearly you're succeeding. Can we talk? You brought a couple of goodies here.
Just a couple of our best sellers. I mean, our cashmere, that is 100% cashmere hat, and what happens is it comes in and we put the fur on the top, and
Okay.
just to give you a little bit of
So
a
what
different
this
finish.
is?
That's a fox.
This is fox.
Yeah, fox.
Oh my goodness. This is so cuddly. Can I just get like a big ball of this and just snuggle it?
And snuggle it, no problem at all. we can do that for you in-house.
And what do we got here? So this is another cashmere.
That's another cashmere
too.
hat with fin raccoon on the inside.
Oh wow.
You can go on our website at www.alwaysinvogue.ca. It's a new commerce site that we're doing.
Yeah.
And all of our accessories that we have in the store, because we do have hundreds of different knick-knack accessories.
Yeah.
You can look through the site, and we've got our coats there as well. But
Yeah.
our Commerce site we launched in October, and it's been very successful so far.
Just out of curiosity, how much of the e-commerce stuff are you doing is local versus?
There is local,
Yeah.
but right now it's right across the country.
I think that's probably better, eh?
It is, yeah.
Because you can still have the people local. Like I would just go down.
Yes.
And you know what I mean? I like that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like supporting local businesses.
And that's just
my
a
goodness,
cashmere.
this is also
nice cashmere scarf.
Okay. So aid me in my ignorance, Darren. Cashmere is what exactly?
It's a blend of a wool,
Okay.
but it's a nicer, softer finish to a
Okay.
wool.
So because of how it's processed, or it comes from certain animals?
It comes from a certain place, and it's done a certain way. But what you will notice with cashmere, and some of our products, people say, okay, they're more expensive, and that kind of thing. But when you pay for something good, like a
last.
cashmere, it will last longer. So
Yeah.
they don't ball up. You don't have to lint it
they're not
every.
pilly. They're not-
Exactly.
yeah.
That'll be the same in 5 years as what it is today.
I use shoes as a good example of that because I've been in sales. Like I run my real estate business, like we've spoken about. I've been at that for 12 years. For 4 years before that, I was in residential leasing. I sold suits at Tip Top for years before that. So I've learned that spending money on your footwear is worth it.
It is.
So I've got 2 pairs of Blundstones that were over $200 each. I've had both of them for over 10 years.
Exactly.
Like, that's not an expensive shoe because of how long you have it. So that's how I feel
Yes.
about quality product.
Absolutely, and something that we've kind of, as we're expanding and we're growing, we got into something this year with PayBright, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with, but it's the same as what Amazon uses now, and Apple are using. So
Okay.
basically, it's financing. So it's 0% financing. So if you came into our store today and you wanted to buy any product over $300, you can finance it, and it's at 0% for the customer, and we pay a small fee when the person purchases it. So it's just it makes shopping easier for you in tough times. Everybody's going through tough times, but it's
So
opening.
you'll take a small hit on your margin for my convenience.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's
That's
just
how you make it to 60 years, though, Darren.
well, we got to try something new,
Right? When you make decisions like that, because like let's face it, when inflation is high and interest rates are then high to try and come down off of it, like $500,000 leather jackets or like sealskin boots or like those are more luxury type items.
Absolutely.
And they're not the last thing that comes off the list when you're deciding how to thin out your margins as a household.
No, absolutely.
So to be able to do that and for you to take the hit that allows me to finance it for free.
It just it's a no-brainer, to be honest with you. I mean, we have, just for an example, a ladies' seal coat right now you could finance for 36 months for less than $100 a month. I mean,
See, I never would have thought that was.
yeah, and it's all about, like you say, adjusting and transferring to the customer to help them so that we can stay in business for another
60 another
years,
60
hopefully.
years. Yeah.
Right?
Can't imagine you hobbling around then there with a sealskin hat on 60 years from now.
I've got a little girl who thinks she owns the business now, so you never know. She might continue on, hopefully. And we just had little boys, so I got 1 and 2 anyway.
Oh, yeah. You just had a little boy?
Just had a little boy. He's
Yeah?
8 weeks old this month.
Do you have sealskin baby boots?
We do.
Yes.
We do, yeah.
I bet they are the cutest things
Yeah.
that you've ever seen.
Absolutely. I should have brought some to show. But
Yeah. So
we
big-
have something for everybody.
Yeah, so big sellers that I think of in my mind are sealskin mitts and boots and probably slippers. They stand out as the things that I see people talking about a lot.
Well, absolutely. And it's funny you say that because I actually did bring you a pair of slippers today.
You brought me a pair of slippers?
I did, yeah. Just because, we appreciate this. We appreciate Rogers.
Is that those there?
reaching
Is
out,
that what that
and
is?
that's these right here for you.
Well,
And I'll get them ready for you. That's your
amazing.
left foot. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I'll
my
put that on
goodness.
there.
And they don't have a right or a left.
That go on try your left side there.
Yeah, okay. goodness.
So those seal fur slippers are seal on the outside and they have shearling on the inside for the warmth.
Oh my goodness. I'm ready. Look at this. Look.
And a nice matching hat for
Look.
you. Look.
Oh my. Swept away. This is beautiful. Look at this. This is about as I've never been more handsome.
You're ready for winter.
I'm ready. I'm ready for forever is what I'm ready for. Look at this. Feet up on the thing. I don't even want to talk to you anymore, Darren. I
No
just want to
problem.
like take a little nap.
Just
But I'm
sit
sure
here.
we still got some time left. So I'm gonna get warm real quick. Can we host like another like Christmas parade or something and I'll wear this? Can we do that? Can there be something else? Darren, thank you so much. First, well, for this, obviously, thank you. And for taking the time to come in and for educating me about your business, about the legacy, because legacy is the right word when you're talking about like 6 decades, and about the fact that it's going to be around for another 6 decades because your daughter's definitely going to take it over.
I think so. I think she's got the interest for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, formerly Vogue Furriers, Always in Vogue, downtown St. John's. Also check them out online. I don't even have words. I don't even have words. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Look at this. See, I love these, and I'm gonna wear them. It crossed my mind when I first put them on that there's a couple of people in my life that would love to have them as Christmas gifts, but now I can't really give them to anybody because it's obvious where they came from. So I'm starting to like rethink whether or not I should have so dramatically kicked my shoes off and put these on. Anyway, doesn't matter. I love you for Christmas anyway, Mom. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media.
With clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for